just for the sake of anybody listening, we're playing Starfinder.
Starfinder.
Yeah. Recently came out from Paizo, for kind of a spiritual successor to Pathfinder. It's a combination of fantasy and sci-fi. So it's set in space, but it has magic, has gods, different planes of existence. That's just kind of setting the setting to set the mood, as it were.
I like setting the setting, dude.
Setting the setting? Okay. All right. The world, at least kind of for a framework, is generally set around the Pact World system. It's a series of planets and races of various types, androids, things of an insectoid variety, more mammalian flavors like the Yosoki, humans, lizards, and also races that are from farther corners of the galaxy that have made the trip. What makes the setting quite unique is up until 300 years ago, extending to ancient times, there is a gap of time, history, and any written, somatic memories even of that time frame are gone, non-existent. There's no physical records, no photos, files, stories to be told. And it colloquially is known as the gap. The time period that we are experiencing is about 300 years after the gap. Races and nations have been rediscovering their heritage. Long lost pieces of information and technology that can be traced into the gap is of great value. Kind of rediscovering their past. And it is a time of gold rush type fervor, reclaiming lands, discovering races that maybe aren't in contact or had been previously, but that contact was lost. Where we are beginning is actually going to be in pitch black. And then a very sharp inhale as a small individual seems to find himself in an enclosed space. There's no light. You tap forward. You feel just cold. Feels like some sort of glass or plastic material. Suddenly there's a flash of light. Your eyes get blinded. You have to adjust yourself. You see you're in a tube. You can't really see outside of it. There's very dim light, but there's a very dark room past the tube that you're in. You see, not quite sure what it is, but see sparks occasionally. You see, kind of peering out in the darkness, the room's quite large. You're not sure what it is, but you kind of push. Doesn't seem to give at all. Go ahead and give me an athletics check.
That is going to be a 16.
Okay. It takes you the better part of like 2 or 3 minutes, being a smaller frame, but eventually you kind of like work your legs up to kind of like a kind of seated position, and you push with all your might, and you hear just a low kind of like as the front of it pushes off. And what immediately becomes apparent to you is there's no gravity. You see the case cover fly off and disappears into the darkness. you kind of have to grab onto the edge of the case to, not fly out yourself from, kind of the reaction of like being pushed. You notice now that next to you, you see 3 other cases. You see the lights are on, but kind of from the angle that you're at, you're not really able to make out a lot of detail. You're probably going to have to maneuver over to them, but being in a zero gravity situation, it's going to be a little difficult.
Okay. First of all, I want to just like take a look at the outside of the pod quickly, like right behind me where I'm grabbing on. Are there any anything like a bar or a handhold that I can see? Anything resembling that?
Well, kind of the grogginess of your consciousness kind of like clearing up a little bit, and you're able to kind of like readjust to your surroundings. You notice that the pod that you're in, kind of like pulling yourself to the side a little bit, you see it's flush against the wall. You see that the wall is made of some sort of metallic structure, and you're not really sure, but you're kind of like you run your hand along the seam, and it seems like it's built into the wall itself.
So there's nothing really that I could wrap my tail around?
Not on the
As an
pod
anchor point?
itself.
Okay.
It's kind of the top and the bottoms of it are flush with where the front door was.
Then I'm just gonna like push myself back into the pod really quickly and like make sure I'm back up against the wall so I'm not floating around, and then pull up my custom rig. And I'm gonna check my vitals and just like see if I can tell what time of date it is, like start date and everything, just like kind of like readjust myself.
Okay. So it takes a second for it to kick in. It seems like it's been a while since you remember like, oh shit, I forgot to charge it last time. And then you're like, wait a minute, what was the last thing I remember? You don't know. You don't remember. You remember like how to use the rig as you're like accessing it. You just don't remember how you got here. You're really straining, but you're like focusing on the task at hand. So you recognize the date, and you can't remember the kind of approximate time that you last experienced. It's really kind of like your thoughts are swimming. It's every time you try to focus on a thought, it kind of escapes you.
That's
it
just
seems to like slip through your fingers.
So that's just completely happening.
Yeah, well, I
The
mean,
whole
just
phenomenon right there.
yeah,
Okay.
you're just your thoughts are kind of like ethereal. They're just kind of like you're having a really hard time grasping them.
All right. Well, introspection is not an option at this point, but mystery is afoot. So I'm gonna pop back out of the pod, and I'm gonna look around at the other pods, and I'm gonna try and just identify generally the technology or what I'm looking at. Like, what are these pods? Are they storing, resources, liquids, like what are in these pods, or what are they used for?
Okay, go ahead and give me a let's say either a computer or engineering check.
Okay.
Your preference,
All right.
because it'll depend on kind of what the information you get is.
It's an 18 for engineering.
18 in engineering.
Yep.
The 1 to your left and the 2 to your right are most definitely life pods.
Okay.
From what you can tell, they seem structurally intact, and you can see the dull glow of lights similar to the ones that you're in, but they're very dim. So each one seems to be just giving off enough light to illuminate the inside of the case and nothing else.
So I can assume that they're still getting power and active. So I'm gonna go just to the right of me, since there's one on either side, and just go up to. Is there any sort of panel or interface or anything like that I can see?
You do see there's one on the side.
Okay.
The light is barely going. It's like slowly pulsing on and off in like erratic patterns.
I just want to like. Is it just touchscreen?
It seems to be.
Okay. I'm just gonna tap it. Just try and wake it up. See if that does anything.
It gives like the little kind of jingle, like, and you see the display kind of, and it gives like just a short readout of vitals. To the right, you see just a short display of like information. You see name, Soren, race, human. And that it just gives kind of various other vitals. You're not very familiar with like medical diagnostics. It seems like it's, I mean, like at the moment, you're just kind of like thinking. It gives you very basic things like, heart rate, which is very low. It gives like kind of like brainwave patterns. They're all seem very kind of dormant. From your kind of cursory look, it seems like it's a hibernation pod of some kind.
I'm gonna keep monkeying across the wall, slowly pulling myself, and just kind of trying to stay. I'm used to being in 0G, so I'm maneuvering about.
Give me an acrobatics check.
Okay. Not really count. 13.
13. All right. So you kind of push past his to the right.
Mm-hmm. Well, just to the other. I want to go check the other 2 pods.
Right. So you're going to the right, and you pass the pod. You see a human figure in there. Does not seem to be moving. You pass to the next one. You see an insectoid figure. You know it to be a Sherm.
Mm-hmm.
As you kind of you start moving a little bit too far. You feel like you're a little sluggish still physically, and you kind of like scrape across. And as you kind of like reach back, you all of a sudden see his eyes open up. You awaken to see pitch black, just very dim light next to your face, and a rat-faced figure, kind of like palms right on the glass.
And as he opens his eyes, I just.
I'd like to try to speak telepathy with him.
Oh yeah, I mean, it takes you a second to kind of like, it's such a natural thing. It's kind of jarring that you're having to focus this hard.
Yeah.
But after like just a couple of seconds, you kind of like get that connection, and you hear in your mind.
Where am I? Where is it? Where are we? What is this?
Stretch? Who are you? What are you doing?
I'm right here.
What?
Is that you?
What? You're...
I don't know if you guys. I don't think you guys know each other, right?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. So.
Wait, well, what are you doing in there? I just, gotta come to myself here.
I don't know. I don't know how I got here. How'd you get here?
No answer's better than yours, buddy. Sorry.
Get me out of here.
Yeah, give me about a second on that.
Get me out of here. I'm gonna shake in there.
You see, you're not restrained, but like pushing against the glass, it's pretty firm too. So you can try and push on it really hard if you want.
Yeah, if I can, I'm gonna.
Yeah. Athletics check.
Yeah, I'm just trying to hold on to the front end for dear life now that he's struggling.
So go ahead and give me an athletics check.
I need a die.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, if you want to use any of mine, feel free.
This is athletics?
Yes, athletics.
8 plus 6.
How much total? 14. 14. Okay, so
Got a bunch more.
he
I'm good.
pushes, and you can hear the seals starting to kind of push out of the way. Are you moving?
Yeah, because this thing, if he puts any momentum into it, it's going to go flying across the
yeah,
room,
yeah,
and I'm on the
yeah.
other side of it. So.
Acrobatics check really quick,
Okay.
so you can try and say you're sliding back to the
Acrobatics, 15.
pod next. Okay, so you get out of the way. You can feel your tail get clipped as much faster than the one that you pushed.
Oh!
And you can hear it tool banging around the outside of the corner of the other part of the room.
Okay. I'd like to
And-
stay where I'm at, but like kind of just then look around.
You have dark vision, correct?
Yeah.
So I do as well, actually.
You do too?
Yep.
Okay. How far does that give you? Like
60 feet for me.
60 feet? Okay.
I'm pretty certain it's just.
Your eyes are kind of adjusting, and yours are, you guys are kind of getting, we'll say, like, the process of this and getting about the same information at the same time. You see that the room that you're in is like a rectangular room. Best guess, it's probably a cargo hold.
Oh boy.
You notice that there are several doors around the room,
Okay.
and you see what approximates as a catwalk around the second story. It seems like no windows at all.
I've gotten so caught up in discovering my surroundings and the people around me. I start feeling on my back. Do I even have my drone?
It's not there.
Oh my god.
You notice as well. You just have your armor on. You just have your suit. You don't have anything else on. You don't have your weapons. You feel very, you don't have that familiar feel of that knife now on your side.
I'm pissed.
You hear this in your
Are
mind.
you actually? Oh, you're still.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as you slide back and you kind of like bump into the pod, you wake up as well, and you see just this kind of like little forefinger hand, I think. Sure, we'll say yeah, 5. You see this tiny little hand just kind of like clinging to the glass,
Like a baby hand.
and you see like just a hairy arm attached to it.
I want to just like reach out and just clink, clink, clink.
You hear that behind you. It's a lot of things are happening really fast.
Hello out there. Why am I in this thing?
Yeah, it's really muffled. Like you can.
What do I do? Who am I?
Who was that?
It's very. You can't really. You can't hear.
And
You just hear muffled.
I just-
voice.
Hey. You wanna...
I want to knock again. I'm gonna go
Boom,
clink,
boom, boom.
clink, 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 clink.
Okay,
Some skeevy weevil in here's
I'll-
knocking on the glass.
I'll deal with
Clink,
that.
clink, clink, clink.
Okay.
I go
So-
over to his pod.
All right. Give me an acrobatics check to kind of just slide over and successfully get there.
It's a 19
Oh yeah.
athletics. It's +6, so yeah.
You
Over.
the heightened awareness that you have of being in an unknown situation, like years of your life. You've trained your body to unconsciously be ready for it. So like you deftly recognize your surroundings, just easily slide over.
Okay.
Do I have my floating solar guy with me?
You notice that it's not there.
Can I see any like controls on the inside of my pod at all or anything like that?
Perception check.
So where's my perception?
So +5.
20.
Looking around, you kind of you don't see anything. It seems to be kind of like readouts that are like nearby. Like there's just like a
Bio
you can't
readouts.
really see it, but it would be like a duplication of what he saw. Just kind of like very basic readouts, kind of about your vitals.
Blood
And-
oxygen
and your-
levels, heart
your-
rate,
yeah,
blood
which
pressure.
is very markedly increased.
Yep, I'm getting stressed out in here.
Do you need help? Should I help? I'm gonna help you out.
No,
you
I'm gonna.
hear that coming out in your mind. You hear.
I'm talking to telepathy. Like,
I'm just gonna, I
Um,
see, like, since he came over and he's just standing there and like looking at him, I'm guessing what's going on. So I'm just gonna push off and like get away this time.
Like out into the room.
First,
No,
I wanna,
just a tiny little bit and like back near my own pod, just back up a little bit and like
Okay.
go up against the wall and
Just
stop myself.
one more acrobatics check, just to kind of because it's 0G. You've been experienced with it, but
7.
7. Okay. Unfortunately, with the extra kind of like activity suddenly appearing, you kind of push off and you like
Use my
spin out of the
swiftness.
way. You start to like and you reflex save.
19.
Your tail
Yep.
catches the very edge. Luckily, so now you see him just like floating out by his tail, and
you need help over there?
Cut! No, I'm all right. Thank you. Just don't look at me.
I'm gonna help
Knucka
this
ducka.
guy out.
You like
Well, first, I want to ask who you guys
between your legs
are,
and you like pull
where
yourself back by your
I
tail.
am. Like, who are you guys? What am I doing in this pod?
Those are my questions exactly.
What's going on?
I
You
don't know.
know
The rat
yet?
thing didn't tell
I'm
me.
just, as they're,
Is that who's the little tiny baby hand I saw?
I think so. Yeah.
are you speaking out loud?
I'm
Well,
speaking.
he's telepathy.
I'm
You
speaking
can't hear
loud
any
thoughts.
of
Okay,
this.
I thought so.
We're having a conversation.
Then I'm
about
just,
you.
I'm
Well,
just
how did
gonna
you guys
keep.
get out?
You just see him.
I
You
kicked
see
him.
him staring
Okay, I'll
intently,
give that a
and
shot.
him staring
Hold on.
back at.
So
him.
I'm
Back
just
up.
gonna like push off the wall slightly and go over to another pod, the other pod, and see.
Yeah, we'll say for brevity's sake that you make it over to that one. You see a familiar figure. You see the Lashanti that you've known for many years.
Is he awake?
No.
That I'm gonna try and
Lashuta,
use
Sorry.
use my custom rig to
Mhm.
either hack or just interface with the thing to wake him up like
Okay.
through its system.
Computer check this time.
Okay.
I need to break out of that pod.
We will do that in just a second once he's done.
17.
17?
Yep.
Okay. You do access it. It is very low power. It seems like all the tertiary systems are disabled, but there is an emergency function that you find, and you're able to, when it like revives them, and you feel yourself coming to consciousness as you are pushing on yours. You're on the side.
I'm right in front of him, so
Oh, you're
I'm
right
talking.
in front of him?
I was just done talking with him.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Last thing I said was, "Watch out."
Okay.
I'm gonna start
I-
pushing.
grab onto something
You
nearby.
just swing to the side?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. We'll say that you were able to get to the side. As you do a strength check,
Ooh, 10.
or athletics.
Yeah.
10?
10. No,
Doesn't seem to be coming loose.
We'll give it one more. Give it the old
Can I,
another college
like,
try.
Maybe just give him a little bit of help.
There's not really like helping.
Okay.
Oh.
Yours
No
seems
help
to
at all.
be, they're, kind of, you see him kind of boom, boom pounding. You notice that the panel on the side, that the inside one was fine. The outside one kind of seems to be like sparking a little bit.
Oh shit! It's short circuiting. Watch out.
Okay.
So-
What should I do?
Stay where you are right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't do anything.
You wake
Okay.
up, you see a very familiar face.
Hey,
Your boy.
So I'm just
stretch. I know he can't hear me, but I'm just.
kind of looking
Hey.
around, just look at him. I look around at what I'm in right
It's
now.
a tight fit for you. You're pretty tall,
Yeah.
so it's like your head is barely like, there's like a tiny bit of space. You like, you're kind of like reaching up, and
Yeah.
you're like, your hat's gone.
Son of a bitch.
I'm just.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm looking, I kind of look around at
The
this
first
shit,
thing
and
you
then I
see
notice my
when you
hat's
wake up.
gone.
Well, he notices his antennas are very cold, and you notice that they're
Aw.
touching the top of the chamber.
And I'm just not like scared, but just like fuck, like not again type of situation. Like, damn it. And I'm just like, use my little limited telepathy
Yep.
to my bro and just be like, what's going on?
I have no clue, but it all seems good.
Well, at least you're here.
I mean, we're not dead or surrounded right now, so we're good.
Next question. How do I get out?
I mean, I could probably get you out. I'm already in the system. Pretty easy stuff.
Do that quick.
Righto.
Oh, also, see my hat anywhere?
No, haven't seen a hat. Sorry, have not seen a hat. Nothing for a head covering for you. Nope.
All right, let's do this.
So, you've already accessed the system, so it doesn't take long for you to. You notice that it actually opens up.
Mhm.
It slides up this way, like a pivot point on the top. And you notice you hear more boom, boom, thud, thud, thuds from the other one, the one that still has the cover on it. And you're able to kind of like stretch out, and you notice as well like it's zero gravity.
Yeah.
Kind
Kind of flicking my little antennas around. It's dark in there, right?
Yeah. So unless you have dark vision,
Shit.
I think is it called dark vision?
Mm-hmm.
It's called dank vision.
You just see
I don't know if I do.
the immediate kind of like foot and a half
Okay.
is like illuminated.
Can I make out shapes at all?
Not really, no.
Knowing the
It's-
situation.
It is very dark.
I
And
would-
his thing's sparking still?
The only reason that you're kind of seeing that is just a dull kind of like spark. It's just a jarring kind of like quick flash of light. It's very small, but it's noticeable because that's like the only light you're getting besides yours and the other pods.
Yeah,
A little
and
tiny
like,
LED just blinking off.
No, just like some static kind of.
Oh, like
It's
spark.
it's
Yeah,
it's like
okay.
seems kind of fucked.
Yeah.
So I step out and I'm just like, is it just us here?
No, there's at least 2 others for right now.
Where are they?
Well,
and knowing his situation, I just reach my tail kind of back and like wrap it around his hand/wrist and like help guide him
Okay.
because I know that he can't see in the dark as well as I can.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll say just you were able to kind of like get back over to it.
Well, because I mean, I was already like just hanging out by his pod when I opened it.
right,
so,
right. So you're going back to his pod.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna help
So
him
you kind
float
of
over there.
float back over there, and you notice, this thing is jacked up.
Is it
So-
still? Would I still be able to interface with it? Does it look like?
It's going to be a little bit more difficult because
Okay.
of the damage to it, but it would be a computer's check.
Okay.
How big are your computers?
19.
19.
Mm.
You
Or 17, excuse me.
17.
Yep.
All right. Gonna be just enough. You doesn't do any damage, but it, like you catch a spark, but eventually you kind of pop off the cover and you have to fiddle around with the inner workings, but eventually you do. You see it, and you feel it kind of like stop about like a quarter of the way, but like you noticing it, you kind of push it, and it doesn't have any resistance to it now, but Yeah, you have to kind of like catch the edges before you fly off. And as the cover opens up, you see what color is it again? Because you choose the color of the light that it pops up as.
Silver.
Silver. Okay. So you guys now see, and I have to double check, but I think it does actually cast light.
Ooh.
That's helpful.
Yeah, it's like a permanent lantern.
Well, eventually I'll probably get night vision goggles and stuff like that. So I'll probably be able to see like infrared night vision goggles,
Well,
X-ray,
through that, I want
all through up.
Okay,
pat
yep.
myself down,
So-
feel for my armor and my pistol.
Sheds dim light in a 20-foot radius.
Hey, that ain't bad.
Cool. So you feel to your sides. None of your equipment is there. You only have the armor that you have, and of course now your solar weapon, which starts to illuminate the room. And it kind of, the silver light is reassuring, but it's kind of momentarily blinding, just because it's like, there was no
Dark
light.
and then light.
Yeah, just suddenly light. It enhances, for you guys enough. We'll say, that you with your dark vision and just that extra kind of background light, you can see more details of the room itself. You notice that there is actually a couple of doors that are closed around the room. You also notice that the location of them. There's from where you're sitting, one to the left, to the right of your pods, and then two corresponding ones on the opposite sides of the room.
On the same wall.
So like two, like one in this corner, one in this corner, one in that corner, one in that corner.
Against these. Okay.
Right. And you guys are kind of like just slightly off center on the left hand side. And now adjusting your lights, your like eyesight a little bit better. I'll give you guys a little bit of a visual, we'll say, just to visualize it. The room is kind of starting here.
That's not a permanent one, is it?
No, it is not. Thank God. So, door here. Door here. Door here. Door here. You guys are all actually just right back here.
Okay. There's my little rat man.
I'm gonna go inspect
And
the
like I
door.
said,
not
there's
closest to.
you can see kind of like halfway on both sides, and then cutting all the way across is kind of a second story stretching, and you see
The catwalk.
Yeah, and you notice that there's there's dead consoles all over the place, but you see a very faint light coming from the second story.
I'm gonna make my way up there.
Samesies.
I'm gonna try to.
Zero gravity.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
try
I'm
to
just
give
gonna
myself a little
push off and-
push off up.
Okay, everybody's going to
I'm going. I'll
because
go.
it's going up at like a 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
Not a problem.
Everybody do an acrobatics check. That's going.
And if you're not, or if you don't have a range, you just do the ability modifier.
Okay, it's just
19.
the ability
A D6.
modifier.
18.
18?
Yep.
Okay.
19.
19?
Acrobatics.
Yes.
21.
21? Okay.
Because like
13.
13. Okay. You all kind of in, kind of a, one after the other kind of motion. You all push off. You're the first one there. You kind of pass through. There's no glass to it. It's just an open second story. So you catch the edge of it and you kind of flip over like 180 degrees and kind of like you feel, the edge of the console and you kind of, catch the edge of it. Your next one, you kind of pass through, you catch the edge of the like support beam and you kind of pull yourself over to it and you kind of like, are like resting like halfway up it. You kind of barely get over the top of it. Being distracted for some reason, either the disorientation or the fact that you don't have your hat anymore. You overshoot
Balance
the
issue.
shit out of it. You hit actually the ceiling, and you kind of boom boom, and you start kind of cascading over, and you're now kind of like free floating in this area. Damn it!
Oh boy.
Can I see anything that I can like
very-
lasso him in?
Can I send my light after him?
It doesn't. It's not tangible.
Oh, okay.
Like maybe like as that. It's just kind of more of a motive energy.
Is there any frayed cords that are like not hooked up to anything that I can probably like throw to him?
Just like, Dad.
Well, I mean, Buzz isn't here right
Oh,
now.
we
I don't
are
know.
in
I don't
Belts
really know.
right now, and can we
Bad
link them
Perception
together?
check, we'll say.
Perception?
Yeah, just kind of looking around in the immediate area.
Do you want some help looking?
It's just a
So you
plus
hear
one.
him just toom, and you're
8.
like 8. Doesn't seem to be anything that you can find up here.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and keep track of him as he's bumping around. 15.
Like just looking at him, or trying to find something that he can grab.
I'm trying to find something he can grab, I guess.
Yeah.
I want to make a go to try to like grab him, and as I'm going for him, I want to just shout out Daisy Chain. And hopefully these guys get it.
Okay, so you like push off,
Mm-hmm.
and you yell Daisy Chain. Acrobatics check.
That seems
14.
like a human kind of thing to
14?
say.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're kind of moving in like a warbly kind of like you start rotating a little bit, and you're like he's like this, and you're like this. He yells Daisy Chain.
As he goes past me, I just say like, "Wait, what did he say?"
I'm on it. I go and I kind of grab onto something and just reach out for him.
Okay, we'll say acrobatics for you as well.
Okay.
20. Natural.
Oh, perfect.
Natural?
All right, so you
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
grab him, and luckily he's just about out of range, but you catch the bottoms of his feet.
Of his feet?
Yeah, his feet, and you grab his ankle, and you're able to like hook your foot on the
Right.
support beam that you're
Okay.
on.
I want to start pulling them in and just kind of like push them down towards.
Okay.
I'll help drag
Bug
him.
me.
All right,
too.
so yeah, we'll say that for just the sake of brevity, you guys both you all kind of daisy chain slowly. As that's occurring, you notice in front of you there's a very dim console. There seems to be some sort of interface into something. You can't really tell what, but
I'd like to just say, nice to meet you, and with telepathy.
Yeah, much obliged. Thanks for the little hand there.
Put up a thumbs up. Let my light silhouette it.
Just fucking patting myself off, even though that probably does nothing because we're in zero gravity.
It just
Oh,
like
dust
creates a
cloud.
dust cloud that just sits in front of you.
So I just walk
You
right
become
into it.
you become Pigpen from the Peanuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do I have my trenchy, or am I just in my?
you do have your trench coat.
Okay,
Just,
so I got my clothes.
Tree.
You got your
Weapons are
clothes, your
hat.
armor.
Is my armor on my
Yeah,
second
it's
skin?
we'll say that just the same thing.
Yeah.
Kind of,
We've got our armor, but none of our
but
other.
none
But
of
not
your
my
other-
hat.
None of your other equipment.
I got my
And not your
sword
hat.
thing though.
I'm gonna
Just shing.
use the rig, try and interface with it, see if it's what its status is.
Okay, go ahead and make a computer's check again.
Ooh, that's only a 9.
And only a 9.
Yeah.
You're kind of finally shaking away the last of the grogginess, and you're now like focusing in. You're trying to bypass the security systems, and just it's still not. Fuck, starting to like cuss. You're just like can't seem to access anything that's important. You do seem to notice that there's a kind of repeating message. You can't access the message itself, but you notice that there's something occurring in a room behind you. You kind of turn around and you notice that there's a singular door. As you're looking right here on the second story. So the second story, we'll say it kind of is like this. The door is right here, actually. So you guys are all like here. He's like, fiddling with that. You guys all kind of like rearrange yourselves back, and you're not. It's still 0G, but you've kind of like maneuvered as he's working on that to be able to be getting into that position.
So I noticed the room behind her.
You kind of all eventually notice it, but you notice that there's some sort of message that you can't seem to access and just kind of like working through the kind of inner workings of the computer system. You think that you notice that there's another console in the room behind there, and that door is closed at the moment.
Can I go inspect the door?
Yeah, you push off. Go ahead and give me a perception check. Are you just trying to see like?
If I could just open the door, or like if it's...
Okay. Yeah, perception check first.
Okay. 15 plus 1, 16.
16. Okay. The readout is dead.
It's dead, it's no power.
Yeah. You kind of pull on it.
What do we got here?
It's
Black
it doesn't seem like it's locked, but just kind of the basic kind of like closed mechanisms.
Motor or something?
It's hard to pull by yourself.
Needs power.
I mean, let there be light. I don't know what you want me to say.
Well, I'm gonna go over to the computer now.
Okay.
Funny
I'm gonna
words.
kinda look
Ted.
over his shoulder.
Funny words.
And I'm gonna try to see if I can hack the system.
Go ahead, computer check.
I'm not a talker. I'm a builder.
11
Plus 8.
19? Yeah, 19.
Usually
19?
not about this
Yep.
adventuring.
I'm all about adventuring. I
into
just
the
don't like
kind
talking.
of
Danger.
to people I don't know.
your mind kind of clearing as well. The thoughts clarifying. You realize that I vaguely remember a system like this, and you working at it, you notice that working through, you can kind of you break through the marginally decent security systems, and you're able to access kind of some of the basic subsystems. You notice that the room, the layout, you're not really able to get a structure of kind of where you are, but you notice that the power is running on emergency power, and you can reroute some of that to be able to go to like basic systems like doors or things like that.
Can I see if there's lights?
You do notice that there is lights.
Yeah, but
there's light there. You see like there's readouts. There's like there's just like lights. The gravity console, the gravity systems seem to be offline.
Okay.
Locking mechanisms accessible.
Okay.
there
gonna
light
turn
now?
on the lights.
Okay. You boom, 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 boom. In kind of quick succession, you see the lights boom, illuminate, and you guys like really have to adjust as it like is bright. Some of the lights are kind of like flickering on and off. Just
I was kidding.
Damn it.
you see that you
there
now
be light.
adequately see the room.
I get that reference.
You notice
Just
that
said.
now you
Yeah.
now you notice with more clarity the door back there, and just now illuminating it. There is a very good chance that this is a starship of some kind. Just looking around,
I know
kind
this?
of just
Or
you
everybody
notice
realize.
this one after another. You guys kind of you've been on a starship.
Okay.
I mean, kind of sense.
You recognize kind of the areas, and you've noticed
Zero
that
gravity.
So we are in the cargo hold.
in the back. Yes, yeah, you seem to be in a cargo hold of some
Okay.
kind. And you notice that the doors all, like you have just the one there, and then the 4 in the ones below, and the 2 on. You notice now that there's 2, 2 like once these wrap kind of around.
It's like
So
I've never been cargo before.
I notice him doing everything on the interface, and I just like comment like,
Ah, look at the brain on Adamant.
No comment. I'm gonna just go doors then.
Okay. You see the back one there, kind of. It doesn't react right away. Kind of like look, you're like. And it like opens like a quarter of the way, and it seems like you hear something kind of break. But the door is open, but it's dark.
It's a
in the
jar.
room behind.
Oh boy.
no, it's
I'll
a
go
door.
first.
It's a
I'll take point. I mean, I got heavy armor and a weapon.
You do?
His solar manifestation can manifest.
Be my
as a
guest.
weapon.
Alright. Well,
It's like.
does it still glow when it manifests?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll switch it
it's-
to the sword then before I go through.
I'll hang at the
so,
back.
So kind of you coalesce it into your hand. So you go up to the door.
Yep, and I want to go in. Do I have to, I'm probably I got to go sideways to fit through that.
You kind of like pass it through this way. So you're putting your arm through it.
Yep, sword first so I can illuminate my path.
Can I be watching carefully just in case something
Okay.
happens?
Certainly. You pass your arm through. You see a room.
Perception check.
Yep.
As soon as I get in.
Well, it's not big enough for you to move through.
Oh.
This is like a foot and a half wide,
Oh.
maybe.
Okay, I thought maybe
The door opened maybe a quarter of the way.
So you're just moving your arm through.
So
So
just
it's
like
enough for
this
you to put
wide.
your arm through.
Okay. Do I
It's,
see anything?
Perception check.
Perception 13.
13. The room is a rectangular room. You see another door beyond it, closed. Vaguely kind of like looking through, you see what appear to be blaster marks. Scorch marks along the floor.
See anything in there?
I want to pull my arm out and kind of like move away from the opening. So I got a little bit of cover, and I want to motion everyone else to just, get away from the door. Let them know that there's just a shit ton of blaster scorches all over the inside of the next room.
Well, that's just great.
And yeah, we might be in a pickle.
You do know it seems to be some sort of jaw structure, and it was powerful. You see this person was wearing some heavy armor, and you see it punched through. You see shattered bone inside the torso. What makes you more concerned is, besides the immediate kind of areas, like just kind of floating freeform, there's next to no fluids in the body.